text, and level heads do prevail. But Venice.ai/RSBN can help you with
I think if you want to leave it on, you can. I think we can get it through. Okay. Oh, he's got good hair.
A little bit. I still got a little bit.
Surprised. Sometimes they take it off and there's not a lot.
There's not a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a great star of Broadway. I've seen the show many times and other shows of his. Michael Crawford. Michael, thank you. Thank you, Michael. Let me do that. Very good. Thank you, Michael. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Beautiful. We have the disco queen, and she was indeed. And nobody did it like Gloria Gaynor. Gloria, thank you very much. Oh, that's a good head of hair. That's beautiful. Thank you, Gloria.
Thank you.
Thank you, darling. A friend of mine, a wonderful person, a spectacular person, one of the true great movie stars. There aren't many. There used to be a lot. There aren't many now. But he's one of the great legends and had some of the greatest movies ever, including the top grossing movies ever. Sylvester Sly Stallone. Sly. Thank you. Proud of you. This is great, Sly. It's an honor.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Should I
Thank
go
you.
over here? Thank
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you, Sly. And the members of the incredible rock band Kiss, Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, Peter Criss, and Ace Frehley, who now is resting in peace, and his beautiful daughter is here to accept the award. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you. That's pretty good stuff, huh? Let me turn that around. Thank you. That's great. My friend for a long time.
Thank you, Mr.
That's good. Thank you very much. My friend for a long time.
All right, what is going on, everybody, and welcome to the stream. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. Trump is set to speak here very soon, and we are going to be covering it live here, as well as market analysis, reaction to anything that he says that might stir up some movement with the Bitcoin price action, Ethereum price action. So stay tuned here, as we will be covering and tuning in to Trump live, as he does host a roundtable event. And we do know currently what this event is about, but we don't know what else could be said that might stir the markets up. So, plus it is FOMC week. We have a major week for crypto. We have the FOMC. We're just going to call it the FOMC week because that is what it is. It is the FOMC week. Lots of big developments, macro developments taking place this week in the financial markets, in crypto, and especially for Bitcoin. So if you are a Bitcoin holder, an altcoin holder, or a crypto holder at all, you need to be locked in this week, especially this week, into these markets. And we will be live covering Trump's speech here at the roundtable coming up very soon, and taking a look at the markets and what they're going to be doing. Thank you guys again for joining us right now. Bitcoin at 90,000, Ethereum at $3,123, and holding steady here on this potential bottom that I have been watching very closely here, and we will continue to watch closely as we await President Trump to make his appearance. Now, let's go ahead and get it started. Niels, that's okay, man. I do appreciate you dropping a comment and smashing that like button, my friend. I hope you have a wonderful day today, and I hope the day treats you well. Thank you for dropping in. I do appreciate it very much. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. AJC here. Thank you guys for tuning in today for this big event, as Trump is set to speak soon on aid to farmers. Now, while this may not be directly related to the crypto market, it could still potentially, anytime Trump speaks, we don't know. We know how he is. We don't know what questions might get asked. We don't know what might get said. And we don't know how the market could potentially react to any of this, right? So it's good to stay tuned. It's good to stay locked in on any time Trump makes an appearance like this, and especially during FOMC week, right? Jerome Powell's set to leave us this week. Interest rate cuts set this week. Quantitative tightening ended. Potentially quantitative easing coming. We are looking at the beginning of potentially the bottom. Or is it? We're going to take a look at the markets. We're going to take a look at the charts as well and dive into the market analysis to see what exactly we can find out ourselves. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will await for President Trump here.
And I think you're going to see that at the end of this evening, and by the end of these 2 days, you're going to say this is one of the most special days in your life. And I think a few of you have already told me it already was. So thank you all very much. Congratulations. And we'll see you in a couple of minutes. Thank you. Thank you, media. Thank you very much. Please.
Thank you to allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN to remain healthy this holiday season.
All right, so we are tuning into the Right Side Broadcasting Network, but just to stay locked in here, I do believe we will see Trump. The live feed should pop up here as soon as we go live, and that is coming up shortly. So here we have President Trump's complete schedule here for the, it'll pop up here. We've got December 8th. We've got right here, Cabinet Room. Oh, wow. Cabinet Room Roundtable. White House Press Pool. This will be interesting as, like I said, we don't know what questions are going to be asked. We don't know what's going to be said. We don't know exactly what will take place. So definitely good to stay tuned here and locked in on this. really liking the 15-minute chart right now for Bitcoin and Ethereum. We do have a couple of things we can go over here as we await President Trump. I was going to go over some of this and talk about a few things here. So Trump is to announce a $12 billion in aid to farmers. And this is a good announcement. Whether or not this is going to directly affect the crypto market or Bitcoin or, financial markets, we are unsure. I mean, this whole week is going to affect the market regardless. We've got the FOMC. So President Donald Trump plans to announce a $12 billion aid package for American farmers on Monday. A White House official has said the announcement is scheduled to be unveiled during an afternoon roundtable event at the White House, where Trump, alongside Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins, will hold a discussion with farmers. The aid package will include up to $11 billion in one-time payments under a new program administered by the Agricultural Department. The relief for farmers comes as a tense trade war between China and the United States begins to show signs of easing. That is bullish. After months of acrimony, my vocabulary is not up to par with acrimonious relations. China in recent weeks has started to buy massive amounts of soybeans. In late November, China purchased its largest of U.S. soybeans in 2 years. So we got China buying soybeans, U.S. soybeans. So this roundtable announcement mostly to do with aid to farmers, but remember, anytime Trump speaks, we don't know what could be said. We don't know what could be asked, as the press will likely be there, as the press is usually there. So we are live early because President Trump is expected to speak here very shortly, and this one is already sending waves through markets and social feeds. We don't know exactly what else other than the farmers' aid is going to be announced, but every time something like this pops up, Bitcoin reacts, stock market reacts, and YouTube reacts. So we're here early to break it down, look at the live headlines, chart Bitcoin in real time, and get your predictions. Hit the like button on the way in if you haven't, and let's get into everything we need to know so far. What the markets might be pricing in already, as we have already seen the markets ticking to the upside some. They are trending lower and lower. The nationwide average for regular gas at its lowest level, 1,681 days. And that's according to Gas Buddy, where the average gas prices have dipped below $3 per gallon in 37 states, below $2.75 per gallon in 22 states, and below $2.50 per gallon in 5 states. And we're one of the fortunate ones right here that hovers there in the Yellowhammer state of Alabama. In fact, Americans can even find gas below $2 per gallon at some stations in at least 4 states, with prices as low as $1.69 per gallon in that granite state of Colorado out west. So under the Biden administration, gas prices were the highest they had ever been, even after he drained our strategic reserves to artificially low levels and decreased prices. So far in President Trump's second term, Americans can track to spend the lowest amount of their disposable income on gas in the last 2 decades amid the Trump administration's pursuit of American energy dominance. It's part of an emergency trend of strong economic news backed up by data. In just the past week alone, Americans saw the national median rent fall for the 4th straight month. Weekly jobless claims plummet to a 3-year low. Mortgage rates near their lowest level in 1 year, and consumer sentiment spike. That's all good news for American consumers, and much more progress on the way. After 4 years of Biden's reckless spending, open borders, and anti-American policies that drove inflation through the roof and crushed working families, the momentum is now unmistakably in the right direction for the American people. And the Trump administration will stop at nothing to make sure Americans feel relief. And that is according to the White House there. So we'll have President Trump really making a focus on domestic policy, not only today, but tomorrow and on the coming midterm elections, 2026. Thank you to Kalshi.com/RSBN, where you can bet on, trade on just about anything, including the Fed decision. Will it come in December? And do you think it will cut around 25%, stay at the same rate? We know too late Jerome Powell playing games with the country and the administration. And will Georgia be the college football champions come January 19th? Well, they have to get through Indiana or Ohio State. Well, there's 12 teams competing for this, and I'd love to get your take on what happened with the selection process. Were they fair to Notre Dame? Should Notre Dame have taken a bowl game? So much happening since Saturday's conference championship. Scan that QR code there now, Kalshi.com/RSBN. AngelPace.com will protect you in the meantime with their Vitamin B Original Miracle Cream
Non-GMO, non-chemical, a wonderful lotion any time of the year, but especially now with the cold weather and the dry temperatures that come on in. Protect your skin during this winter Christmas season. The orange option, vitamin C infused, non-GMO, no chemicals as well, and a natural facial spray to paint the town red for that first date or that 50th wedding anniversary and everything in between. Angel Paste has you covered. They're Christian owned. They are based in the Lone Star State of Texas, right off that Gulf of America. Experience the miracle that is angelpaste.com. And speaking of gut health, covepure.com/RSBN. There's so much I can say about this wonderful Clearwave technology-driven machine that's no larger than a coffee maker at home. You can instantly change the temperature from cold to warm to hot, and especially those tea drinkers, a great thing to use so you don't have to wait for your tea to steep, especially if you're in a hurry. You can see that there, how quickly the temperature changes. So whatever temperature water you want, right at your fingertips. Now, JAMA Pediatrics doing a study that if people are drinking from the tap regularly, especially students and young ones, they can lose up to 2 points or more in their IQ in a short period of time. We know the lead poisoning that happened from Flint, Michigan, and Democrat-run cities that fail at securing their infrastructure. Lead poisoning can lead to brain damage, to kidney failure, liver problems, and stomach lining gastrointestinal issues. You don't want that. And we now know that fluoride, pesticides, agricultural runoff, hormone-disrupting blockers are in the tap water. So get this Clearwave technology that removes 99.9% of the impurities in your drinking water with a holiday sale unlike any other. $250 off, covepure.com/RSBN. In addition to that, if you have friends or family who are renting, you don't need tubes or a plumber to come over and drill holes in your wall to install this. It's all right there is what you see is what you get with the reverse osmosis that needs to be changed every so often. Roughly recommended at 3 months or so. Right there for you. Just like a coffee maker, very easy, almost no assembly required. Drink pure, live pure. It's covepure.com/RSBN. Thank you for sponsoring us on the right side of history as we await President Trump just really moments from now.
It should be any
so much
minute
going on in the news. The Trump administration unveiling $12 billion in aid for farmers hit hard by tariffs while investigating.
There really is
soaring
a
beef
lot,
prices.
a
Also,
lot
again,
going on.
Crockett,
And it's only Monday. It's only Monday.
So we'll watch that very closely as Indiana's maps might change, going to the Senate for approval, ultimately to Governor Mike Braun's desk for a signature. And 3 days of talks in Miami, President Trump expressing frustration with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky and has at least alluded to between Putin and Zelensky, he's willing to walk away if they cannot settle this terrible war. And ideally that does happen to save the lives of countless people. We have extended access and viewing a video playback in case you missed it from the Kennedy Center honors on the red carpet just the other night on Saturday, and the president taking some questions from the White House press pool.
Mr. President, right here, if you don't mind.
Sir, this is one of the most prestigious nights in American arts, and you are hosting, I understand tonight, the first president to do that. What does this mean to you personally, also as the chairman of the Kennedy Center?
Well, it's very exciting being chairman, but maybe more importantly, saving this incredible structure and building and concept. And it's done so well. You know, we've raised a tremendous amount of money tonight for the building itself and for charities overall. And we're really happy. It's been you see the way it's been received. It's been like it's never been before. And this building, this beautiful building, is going to be brought back to life. We've already started. And it'll be better than it was from day one.
Do you think Mr. President represent storytelling of American legends? What do these honorees represent to you tonight here at the Kennedy Center?
Well, we have great honorees. This is a group that really is unique. I think it's one of the, look, over the years I've been watching, and you've had some wonderful honorees, but I think this is really very much unparalleled. So we're going to see how it turns out. I think it's going to be a great evening.
And First Lady Melania, can I ask you about your upcoming video? Can you tell us anything about that, your film?
My film will be out on January 30th. So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope people will come and see it. It will be 20 days in my busy life before inauguration.
We look forward to seeing that. And what does tonight mean to you? You have celebrated the arts and design as part of your journey. Tell us what tonight means to you here at the Kennedy
Well, it
Center.
really means we're bringing back the Capitol, Washington, D.C. If you look back a year ago, it was a very unsafe place. Beautiful, but unsafe. But it wasn't properly kept. It was not in good condition. Now it's in very good condition. And as you know, crime has been brought down to a level that nobody's ever seen here before. So we're very proud of that. Thank you very much.
Do you think, Mr. President,
what do you think of the
will it
Netflix
eventually
Warner
be
Brothers
named the
deal?
Trump Kennedy Center, Mr. President? Do you think?
Say it.
Do you think the center will eventually be named the Trump Kennedy
I
Center?
don't know. I hear that, but I don't know. That's not up to me. That's up to the board. The board makes that decision. We have a very prestigious board. If you look at the names, I don't think there's a board like it. So that would be up to the board. Thank you.
Are you willing to take a foreign policy question?
Say it?
Foreign policy question?
Well, I think maybe not tonight.
Russia, Ukraine?
This is about the Kennedy Center.
Okay.
Thank you.
What about Netflix and Warner Brothers?
Well, that's got to go through a process, and we'll see what happens. Netflix is a great company. They've done a phenomenal job. Ted is a fantastic man. I have a lot of respect for him, but it's a lot of market share. So we'll have to see what happens.
President Trump, who's on your list for next year's Kennedy Center Honors event?
I looked at a list today. I can't tell you that yet, but a lot of people want to be on my list. You'd like to be on the list.
I don't know about that, but I have a question for you, Mr. President. How have you prepared to host tonight?
Well, maybe I haven't prepared. Maybe you want to be a little bit loose. If you look at the great hosts, Johnny Carson, Bob Hope, those are the greats. If you look at the not-so-greats, like Jimmy Kimmel, he was just terrible. But no, I think you want to be just loose and not a lot to prepare for, really. You know what you have to be? You have to be yourself.
I've been asking your cabinet tonight, is this going to be more Johnny Carson or Don Rickles?
Well, Don, I knew them both, and they were both great guys and friends of mine. Both difficult, very difficult, but great. I mean, I was really very close to both of them. You can't compare them. They were very different.
Why did you want
But Johnny Carson, for hosting, was top of the line.
President Trump, Jesse Waters has a question for you. What was your favorite moment of 2025? It was a big year.
I think when Jesse Waters interviewed me. It was such a phenomenal interview. He's a great guy, and you're a great guy. You're doing a very good job out there. I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much, President Trump. Who is on your naughty list this year?
Oh, that's a long list. I better not tell you would start a problem out there in the world. No, we have a pretty big naughty list, but our country is doing well. We're the hottest country anywhere in the world right now. And a year ago, we were a dead country. We were a dead country that was laughed at all over the world. We're the hottest country in the world.
What would be the implications?
And Jesse Waters is terrific.
What are you getting the first lady?
Implications, Mr. President, of the Supreme Court overturning your authority on the tariffs, the emergency authority? What would be the implications for the economy and for the country?
Well, we have a right to go a different form of tariffs. We have a right to go licensing. We have a right to go other ways. But the form of tariffing, as we call it, the current form of tariffing that's before the court, gives us great national security, more than anything else, because it allows the president to act quickly and effectively, swiftly, and make a decision. And as you know, I ended 8 wars. We're trying to end a 9th, and we thought this would be maybe one of the easier ones. We just did Rwanda and Congo, and that was going on for 30 years. The Russia-Ukraine, I thought was going to be a little bit easier, but it's not being made easy. It's a very tough war, very nasty. 27,000 people died last month, mostly soldiers. I will say that I really think this is really a night of joy tonight because of what's happening with this building. It's going to be fantastic when you see the end product. It's going to be better than it was new, and I think we'll celebrate that. But I will say that our country is doing really well.
Some Republicans have expressed concern about using the tariffs, the revenue for a dividend, saying we should be paying down the national debt.
Well, we will.
What's
I
your
agree
thought
with them on that, but I also think that, we're making so much money with tariffs that we'll also be able to make a nice dividend to middle-income people. We're talking about middle-income and lower-income people. We're not talking about dividends to rich people. But there's so much money being made from the tariffs, and countries that were taking advantage of us for many, many years are not taking advantage of us anymore. We're taking in tremendous amounts of money from countries that we were losing lots of money to. And you know what? They're okay with it. They're not complaining. They're not complaining about the tariffs. They'd rather not have them, but they're not saying there's anything wrong. And the big thing is, in the court, we have tremendous flexibility with the current system. It's unbelievable for national security. I've ended 8 wars, largely because of trade and because of tariffs. If we go the other tariff route, and there are other routes we can go, but it won't give you the same pure national security as this one. This one is swift and very powerful.
Mr. President, what's the next step in Russia-Ukraine talks?
Venezuela?
What's your next step in Russia-Ukraine talks after last week's negotiations?
So we've been speaking to President Putin, and we've been speaking to Ukrainian leaders, including Zelensky, President Zelensky. And I have to say that I'm a little bit disappointed that President Zelensky hasn't yet read the proposal. That was as of a few hours ago. His people love it, but he hasn't. Russia's fine with it. Russia, I guess, would rather have the whole country when you think of it. But Russia is, I believe, fine with it, but I'm not sure that Zelensky's fine with it. His people love it, but he hasn't read it. So someday you'll explain that one to me, Jeff.
I don't have an explanation, sir. What's the next step in that?
Raymond, thank you very much. Good job you're doing. Say hello.
Thank you.
What would you like to see Sylvester Stallone do as a Hollywood ambassador in Hollywood?
He is automatic. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he is one of the ambassadors, as you know, and he's already been doing that. Look, all he has to do is be himself. If Sly is himself, that's all he can be. If he tries to be somebody else, it wouldn't be good. He's a great guy. He's done a fantastic job, and he really deserves this honor. You know, it's something he's wanted for years. And this is bigger than it's ever been. I mean, I don't want to say why. I refuse to say why. But you take a look at this line. Last year, if you look at this line, it was not this.
Mr. President,
it was a different thing.
Why are you and the First Lady expending so much time, so much energy in revivifying and remaking the Kennedy Center?
It's not the Kennedys. We are. Look, Bobby Jr. is doing a fantastic job. It's not the Kennedys. It's our country. We're bringing our country back, and we're bringing D.C. back, Washington, D.C. We're bringing our capital. It's a safe place now.
No, I mean the Kennedy Center, the center itself. Why are you so focused on revivifying?
Because it could never be built again. It's got 3 massive places, call them. You have different stages, dance, theater, and you have a place that we're going to be in tonight that there's really nothing like it in the country. And if this disappeared, you'd never be able to build it again. And I'm able to save it because that's what I used to do for a living, really, is, well, maybe better than anybody else. I could take something and spend less money than other people and make it better than anybody else could. The Kennedy Center has a chance to be unbelievable. And, you know, I mentioned yesterday something very important, sound. It's like sometimes you could say, like people, you either have it or you don't. Great sound in this building. A lot of times, and you know the Lincoln Center saga, they've rebuilt one building, most important building, they rebuilt it 4 times, and they've never been able to produce really great sound. The sound in the Kennedy Center has been incredible from day one. Call it luck or talent. Probably luck. There's a lot of luck involved. You know, the great sound buildings, the greatest in the world, are the old opera houses built in the 17 and 1800s in Europe. And they had one thing that was in common, lots of marble. And they didn't have sound engineers. They had lots of marble. And this has got great sound. Even right here in the hallway, the sound is fantastic. Thank you very much, Raymond.
Madam First Lady. Mr. President.
President Trump, do you want...
I'm just curious to know how they have impacted your own personal enjoyment of art.
Well, are you talking about the 5 honorees and the group and the 5 honorees? They are outstanding people. I had to approve them all. And every one of them, very different. I said last night, totally different audience, but when you add them up, they're 100% of our country and a big percentage of the world. So we have great honorees. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to have a the good time tonight.
Mr. President, we know that you like the arts. Could you imagine,
Mr. President, now we know that you've hosted before, The Apprentice, for many years. Could you imagine next year maybe you're not hosting, but maybe you receiving a Kennedy Center honor?
That's an interesting one. I haven't thought of that. Yeah, I think I'm going to nominate myself for next year.
Mr. President, every day you have such a big job being the president. Why was it important for you to actually host the show tonight, and how much time did you spend getting ready for it?
Well, it wasn't important for me other than if I get much higher ratings, if it's a more successful show, then I'm contributing. I get nothing. I don't make money with it. I don't do anything. It's a little bit of work, not a lot of work. I look forward to doing it, but the network said, would it be possible to get the president to host? And I love the concept of no president has ever hosted the Kennedy Center honorees. And it's very important that this building be great and that this building remain really, I saved the building. We raised a lot of money tonight, tremendous record numbers of dollars, a lot of money. And we've raised over $100 million over the last very short period of time. That's a lot of money. And that money goes into the rejuvenation and the rebuilding of the building. And a lot of it's already taken place. A lot of the things that you don't see have already taken place.
Mr. President, and your words as you're saving the building, when will locals who come to the Kennedy Center, who live here, when will we start to see all of the changes? And do you have a timeline for when this will all be wrapped up?
Over the next 4 or 5 months, we're going to have it very well set. You see the outside, the columns, they're beautiful. They had a fake gold color, and now they're beautiful, gleaming white. And everyone's talking about that. It sounds like not much of a change. It's a massive change. The white against the white marble. The marble is being rejuvenated. They're great pieces of marble, but they've been let go and they've been tired. And I always say you can take a 100th of an inch off of a piece of marble and you have a brand new piece of marble, but nobody does that. It's not an easy process. But if you look on the outside of the building, people see already a very big difference.
Is the First Lady involved in the style and the change that's happening here?
Yeah, she's got great taste. I'll ask her her opinion. She liked the white as opposed to the fake gold. But they had the fake gold. One thing about gold, you can never imitate real gold. They've tried to do it for years. Gold paint. Gold paint never works.
Mr. President,
you got to go for the real 24-karat gold. Yes.
Yes, sir. Is there another president other than yourself who you think would have done a good job hosting the Kennedy Center honors?
Hosting, yes. Building, no.
Mr. President,
you have a couple that would have done. Politicians.
Mr.
They're very good on their feet, most of them.
Could you name one?
I would say the last one wouldn't have done too well hosting. But we've had some great politicians. Excuse me, John F. Kennedy would have done a very good job hosting. But building, no. I will build better than anybody. I build better than anybody. Thank you.
Mr. President, $23 million was made tonight, nearly doubling. $23 million was made tonight, nearly doubling last year.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Maybe we had something to do with it. I don't know. We doubled up last year. It's really much more than that because we've done over 100, not including tonight. We've done over $100 million already. And those are numbers that the Kennedy Center has never seen before. It's doing really well. Thank you for that question.
How is this innovation and the big, beautiful ballroom for the White House, how is this tied into...
You've done so much for American greatness. Talk to the next generation about how important the values are that you're celebrating tonight are to American greatness. Things like self-discipline, creativity, talent, those things.
Well, the young generation, I think, is going to grow up strong. We have a very different country than we had a year ago. A year ago, we had a country that was in big trouble. Now we have a country that's the talk of the world, and everybody's respecting us again, and young people are respecting us again, too. I won the young vote. The Republicans never win the young vote. I won it easily, and I want to thank Charlie, and I want to thank TikTok, and there are a lot of reasons for it, but there's never been a Republican who won the young vote, and I won the very young vote, so that's a good sign.
Mr. President,
why did you select Kiss, Mr. President? Why did you select Kiss for the honor this evening? Do you have a favorite Kiss song?
Well, I like them as people. I've listened to their music over the years. They are characters, too. They really are. I don't know if you saw last night the speeches. They were great. They really made some great speeches last night. And they're very popular. A lot of people, write in and ask us to select. So
I really did not.
Sylvester Stallone was not.
Who would expect Trump to be a Kiss fan?
One of the greatest movie stars of all time, based on revenue, based on Rocky and Rambo and the numbers. No, I doubt.
Who would expect Trump to be a Kiss fan? That's a little bit. There's something else there, huh? There's something else there.
But Kiss is terrific.
Maybe so. Maybe.
Two questions.
Maybe.
What are you looking forward to most about hosting tonight? And number two,
Oh,
Secretary
man.
Duffy says you are the master of the playlist out on the Rose Garden Club. What's your favorite song to listen to on the Rose Garden Club?
What is going on, Aussie, my dude? Good day,
Look,
folks from Australia.
We really hit big with that. It was from day one. We put it on the first rally, and we never took it off.
That's right, man.
But I have a
Mr.
lot of
President,
favorites,
where
and
is
I can
alt
tell you
season
that
at?
We both love Elton John, special man.
That's right.
Special
Where is
guy,
alt season, Mr. Trump?
talent. We like a lot of different. I like a lot of.
Where
different songs,
is it?
A lot of different types of music. I have a good playlist. Thank you. Thank
Mr.
you.
President,
He said I have a good playlist.
What would you like to see for America 250 here at the Kennedy?
I want to hear Trump's
Well, we're
playlist.
going to have a lot of events. You know, one of the things you're going to have here is some of the UFC.
Aussie, I appreciate you showing up, man. Good to
press.
see you. Hope
You
you're
have
doing
the
well.
fighters coming over talking about the fights. It's a big deal. The UFC on June 14th. It's going to be June 14th next year. And they're building an arena. The great Dana White's building an arena. And they're going to have 8 or 9 championship fights, the biggest fights they've ever had. Everyone's a championship fight. And everyone's a legendary type of fight. He's actually holding back fights right now for 6 months so he can do it for this, the 250. I think 250 is going to be amazing. I think the arena is going to be 5,000 or 6,000 seats right in front of the front door of the White House and 100,000 people in the back where they're putting up 8 or 10 very big screens. That's going to be an exciting night. So many people are asking for tickets, the UFC. Thank you.
Mr. President,
You mentioned some of your favorite songs.
Mr.
I did.
President,
I met with Ted. I think he's fantastic. I think he's, in the history of Hollywood, there's really been almost, you could say, nothing like what he's done. You'd go back to Louis B. Mayer, maybe, Metro Goldwyn Mayer, MGM. Ted has done an incredible job. I mean, he had a company that was very troubled 7 or 8 years ago, and he took it over, and he's really done a legendary job.
should they be allowed to buy Warner Brothers? Should Netflix?
Well, that's the question. They have a very big market share.
All right, guys, just a
And
few
when they
more
have
minutes to
Warner Brothers,
go,
you know,
and
that
we
share
will
goes up
be
a lot. So I don't know. That's going to be for
watching Trump live. This was previously recorded, but here in just a
They
matter
have a
of
very big market share.
Did he make any guarantees
Fi-
to you
5
about
minutes.
the merger if they do merge? That
No, not at all. He came up. He was in the Oval Office last week. I have a lot of respect for him. He's a great person. But he's done one of the
And
greatest
what is
jobs in the
Bitcoin
history of
doing?
movies and other things. He's
90,000.
interesting things happening.
Still
aside from
steady
what
at 90K. ETH still
But it
steady at
is a big market
31 to 3,000, but
it could be a problem.
We're gonna take a look.
You mentioned some of your favorite songs. In your opinion, what makes a song great?
Well, it's something that has to be soft and soothing to your ear. I like some songs that other people don't like, you know. That's why they have, you ever hear the expression? That's why they have menus in restaurants. We're all different. We all order different things. Otherwise, you just serve one meal and that would be it.
Are you a country music fan?
But I love
he's such a
country. And
he's
we
such a
have-
witty man,
have
you know.
the king of
It
country
don't matter if you
music tonight.
don't like him. You don't have to like Trump to understand at his age
It's not up to me. We have a board.
how
40 people.
witty
that are
this man
really the
is.
most prestigious people
His
in
communication
the United
skills
States.
are
We have the honorary chairwoman on the
top
board.
tier. You know,
As the first lady, she's
you don't
honorary
have to
chairwoman.
like
But we
him
it's a
to
really
respect
prestigious board, and that's up
to
to
respect
them. I
that.
don't know what they're doing about that.
And can you tell us
We
about
are doing a lot.
Opera House
Look,
after?
we are saving the Kennedy Center.
And can you tell us how did you choose the nominees today, the winners today?
Yeah, we went through probably 50 different names. We were politicked by a lot of people, some of them the stars themselves. But we went through 50 names and we picked the 5, and we're very happy with it. They've really, very different audiences, but as I said just down the line, they're different audiences, but when you add them up, it's 100% of the public. Thank you.
Should the Opera House be renamed after Melania? What did you talk about with Prime Minister Carney?
He truly does. It's unbelievable how he keeps up at his age.
Mexico
I mean,
and Canada,
honestly,
we met
it's unbelievable. I don't know what they got this man on, but
well. A lot of people
I
were
don't know
here
what that
when
money
he was-
buys, but
and, the Prime Minister of Canada.
It's
the President
unbelievable.
of Mexico. And we
the
spoke for
stamina,
a half
the
hour. Very
endurance
good,
to be able
very
to
productive.
just
Mostly trade.
Will you restart
consistently and continuously just
Well,
make
look, I have a
appearances
great relationship
and just
with Canada.
you
They're
know.
very tough traders, but I have a very good relationship.
We all have
with
grandparents,
Prime
right?
Minister and with Canada.
Think about this for a second. This is somebody's grandparent,
Well, I have altered them.
great grandparent.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you know, the problem is Canada makes.
You know, a
things
lot
that
of
we
our
don't need
grandparents
because we
are,
make
you
them
know,
also.
struggle
We'll
to
work it
walk.
out. But Canada's a special place, and they really are
So,
good at
you know, when we think about that, it's like, man, give credit where credit is due.
President, hosting the Kennedy Center honors or preparing for the State of the Union?
All right, Trump, we are ready for you.
Well, could I answer that question after the show's over?
If you give it to me, absolutely.
I'll give
Mr.
it to you
President.
after the show's
Thanks.
over. I mean,
What's more difficult?
This is a little bit different.
Yeah.
But, you know, I hosted The Apprentice when it was the #1 show on television. We did 42.5 million people that night. It was a little different television than it is today.
What are
more
you-
people watching in those days?
What are you expecting, Mr. President, in terms of ratings for this year's Kennedy
I
Center
think
honors?
it'll do great. I think it's going to do great. Ratings are complicated now because you have streaming added on and everything else, but I think it'll do very big. I mean, just look. I mean, just based on what you see right here. If you came here last year, you saw a line that was about 1/10 this size. You weren't even here last year, right?
I was here. Mr. President, how do you prepare for hosting this year's Kennedy Center honors? You have so much on your plate. Where do you make the
I have
time?
a lot on my plate, and I didn't really prepare very much. I read a little bit. I have a good memory, so I can remember things, which is very fortunate. But I want to just be myself. So you have to be yourself. Johnny Carson, he was himself. Thank you, everybody.
During the first time you stayed away.
Future of American art from politicization. Do you think the Kennedy Center is now better serving all Americans?
I think it is. I think it's been really enhanced very greatly over the last 10
Exactly,
years.
the transparency,
And we're
bro.
making it great.
Exactly.
We're going to make it physically great as a building. So you won't even believe how beautiful it'll be. And we saved the Kennedy Center, and it's a big thing. Thank you.
So during your
Very
first
good
time you
points.
stayed away from the awards.
All very good points there, Aussie.
And President
All right,
Trump,
guys.
First Lady Melania Trump at his side on that red carpet
We
over the weekend.
are
It was
still
Sunday
awaiting
night at the Kennedy
President
Center
Donald
Honors. The
Trump
first
to make his
president of
appearance
the
here.
United States to host MC
Stay tuned here live as we
this
will
legendary gathering of
break down
artists who have really shaped the country and perhaps none
the
more
markets
than
as
the group
well.
as President Trump put together along with the chair of the board and the executive director, Mr. Rick Grinnell, a star-studded
going to stay
evening
tuned here. As
celebrate,
soon as it
especially
goes
talking
live,
about
we
that
will
Netflix
tune in.
merger to gobble up Warner Brothers and Paramount actually
Don't
making a bidding
really-
war happen there. So we'll watch that story closely as President Trump knows a thing or two about entertainment. Thank you to allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. As this is the most cherished time of year, we gather
on
with
now.
family
We've
and
got
friends
literally
and
1 minute,
celebrate
bro.
our
Come on,
faith
quit.
and the reason for
Quit,
the season,
quit.
but
We
the
got 1
cold and
minute.
flu just around that corner. So be prepared and stock up on Tamiflu, ivermectin, antibiotics,
Stock up on
antivirals,
ivermectin and Tamiflu.
hydrochloroquine, NAD+, and methylene blue. In fact, over 300 plus essential medications and
Just
emergency
stock up on
medical
all of
kits.
it,
And
man.
you can have it ready to go in your medicine cabinets or even travel with them as you take plane,
He said-
train, and automobile
he
to
said
your loved
methylene
ones.
blue,
allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. Code RSBN10 for 10%
Are you
off
guys
now.
ready?
Take advantage
What is
of
going on,
these
ATL guy? What is
life-saving
up, bro?
opportunities. And
Good to see
when
you,
your
my
health is
man.
in order, make sure your
Good
wealth
to
is
see
in
you.
order with monetary gold, preservation, securities, retirement, pensions, everything you worked hard for. Grab that complimentary presidential gold guide today. 888-617-7994. Ask how you can eliminate the annual IRA fees for life. RSBN4thegold.com.
okay,
The BRICS
okay,
nations
okay,
buying up
okay.
gold and silver, tangible
I
metals
apologize that we have
stood
to
the
listen to
test of
this, but
time. In addition to that,
we
the
are
dollar losing 40% of its value in the last 2 decades.
tuning
So don't
into
allow
the
that to
network that I
happen
would
to
prefer to
you
tune into.
and your household. It's rsbn4thegold.com. Also, Venice.ai/RSBN, a smart way to protect yourself online and through your cell phone, available on the App Store and Google Play. 20% off with code RSBN, our latest sponsor here. Venice.ai/RSBN. Protect your text, your emails.
Thank you guys
even
for
your phone
tuning in.
calls
Do not go
with
anywhere.
artificial
Trump will
intelligence
be
through
making an appearance in
Venice.ai/RSBN. 20%
any moment now.
off now with code
Any moment now.
RSBN at 2 o'clock. We anticipate a roundtable that the President of the United States is hosting. In the meantime, we have a video playback of Secretary of State Marco Rubio meeting with the UK Prime. We actually do not have that available at the moment, but when we do, we could bring you that there, as, again, the President will be hosting a roundtable just moments from now. And those Kennedy
Exactly.
Center Awards, in case you missed them, highlighting some really
Moments.
extraordinary people, from the band Kiss to the king of country, George Strait, Sly Stallone, the Tulsa King, who happened to be Rocky and Rambo, Michael Crawford, the Phantom of the Opera, and the Queen of Disco, Gloria Gaynor herself. Again, when you combine all of them, as President Trump said, you get 100% of the country and even some of the world, as some of them started their journeys elsewhere, but have really contributed to the American story in arts and entertainment, perhaps greater than anyone else. It's people who have left their mark on this nation. As we remember the date, which will live in infamy, 84 years ago today on December 8th, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt addressing a joint session of Congress, asking for a declaration of war against the Empire of Japan after the attacks on Pearl Harbor. As Admiral Chester W. Nimitz once said, they fought together as brothers in arms. They died together, and now they sleep side by side. To them, we have a solemn obligation. And to visit that Pearl Harbor is really extraordinary, to see the USS Arizona.
Trump sometimes likes to be fashionably late, so that's okay.
That harbor, still producing oil after all these years.
That's okay, right?
And 12 surviving members.
That's all right.
From that day.
ETH long and a Bitcoin long. Who's trading this today?
Trip back.
Who is trading this Monday?
To old age.
This FOMC week, man. Who is trading FOMC week? Are you trading on Monday? Because we got a lot going on this week.
And the best way to honor them is to
ATL. I got some
live
longs
lives
in.
of honor as they did, defending their nation against tyranny, and ultimately
I scraped a couple of. I scraped a little bit this morning.
Communism.
I scraped a little bit this morning.
In so many ways, we're fighting those evil ideologies in the present.
I scraped a little bit on ETH this morning.
But on the 84th anniversary of the attacks yesterday, just to think about, at 7:55 in the morning that Sunday, a Japanese force of 183 airplanes attacked the United States military and naval facilities on Oahu in the Hawaiian Islands without warning, and for 30 nonstop minutes, dive bombers, level bombers, and torpedo planes struck airfields and naval vessels. And after a 15-minute lull, a second wave of 170 planes launching another attack at 8:40 in the morning that lasted 1 hour. Casualties to United States service personnel were close to 2,400, including 960 missing and over 1,200 wounded, nearly 1,300 service members wounded in that. Japanese aircraft destroying 151 United States planes on the ground and damaging all 8 U.S. battleships at anchor in Pearl Harbor, only at a cost of 28 airplanes shot down. The Japanese struck a major blow to the American fleet in the Pacific that day. Nearly 20 American naval vessels and over 300 aircraft attacked in the terrible moment. It actually would have been much worse had it not been Sunday. Many of the vessels were taken
Let's
for
see what Trump has to say.
And for weekend vacation, and some of the base actually empty
will,
as a result of it being on a Sunday. But it's quite a sight to see if you have a chance to visit Hawaii and remember those brave Americans who sacrificed so much and lives were cut short, that ultimately brought us into the conflict that was World War II 84 years ago yesterday. As President Trump to participate in a roundtable just moments from now. And Mr. Director, is that we will toss it there to the White House right now.
All right, guys, here we go.
Foreign Secretary, is Europe facing civilizational erosion?
Foreign Secretary, do you trust the Americans on Ukraine?
Thank you.
The Secretary of State Marco Rubio with the UK Foreign Minister there at the Department of State, doing an extraordinary job. They've solved 8 wars over the course of 10 months and God willing, Russia and Ukraine will come to an end very soon. Two very hard-headed leaders, to say it politely, but this administration committed to peace, as we saw last week with the official signings of the Democratic Republic of the Congo and the Republic of Rwanda, in the bloodiest conflict since that of World War II, one in which was not covered heavily over the last several decades and generations of American press. But needless to say, many people suffering at the hands of tribalism and warfare on the African continent, which is, God willing, getting better in certain areas, but especially with the leadership of this administration. As Secretary of State Rubio has said on countless times, if it is not to the positive of the United States foreign policy and our interests on the domestic front and the foreign front, then it won't be something that Department of State will get itself involved with. So it's an America First agenda that you put back into office just last year, constitutional governance at its highest form. We'll take a quick commercial break for sponsorships. You're on the right side of history. Stick with us as we await President Trump to participate.
We will not be sticking through sponsorships, but we will go ahead and take a look at the market here as we await President Trump and see what is going on. So far, not much has changed with Bitcoin or Ethereum here on the 15-minute. We are still steady at 90,000 for this Monday going into FOMC week. And ETH as well, 3,100. But if we take a look at what's going on here, across the board, we can see that the bounce is still coming, but it's almost like Bitcoin has went flat here going into FOMC week as we await the Fed rate cut decision, as we await Jerome Powell leaving the Federal Reserve chair position, and as we await President Donald Trump to make the announcement today on aid to farmers, as well as whatever questions the press may ask. So thank you for tuning in here live, as we will be covering all of this as it unfolds. And I do appreciate you being here to watch. So don't forget to subscribe and smash the like button if you are new to the channel. And, you know, Ethereum, same thing. We are holding good support. ETH holding key support above $3,000. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful for ETH. Double bottom on Zcash still playing out. I did actually scrape a little off Zcash this morning on this move past the 200 moving average right there. And once we broke that, you know, I was able to manage to scoop a little bit, but until we see what happens going into this week, I'm still a little bit sketched, because obviously we are expecting rate cuts. We are expecting bullishness, right? Macro bullish. The macro is bullish. We have just an amazing week ahead for crypto and for the entire market. What's going on, Sincere? Welcome back to the channel. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you guys. Thank you for showing up today and smashing that like button. Zcash up 20% right now on this double bottom. We got a lower low, or a higher low right there too on that double bottom. Even better. We didn't make it all the way down to my measure move target, but pretty close out of that breakdown there. Pretty close out of my measure move there. And now the double bottom seems to be playing out on the hourly for Zcash. I mentioned this on my X as well. And we broke the 200 moving average on the hourly. So I think Zcash is putting in a double bottom. And, you know, 515, 520 is the POC here coming up from this double bottom. So if this W plays out, Zcash would likely run back to $500. Bitcoin and Ethereum are just steadily holding out, waiting for the FOMC week to take place, guys. Don't forget to smash the like button if you're just joining us or watching the replay. Thank you.
is not to politics, a title, or a zip code. It is to this great country as a result
Absolutely,
of the third court's
ATL
ruling
guy.
and to protect the stability and integrity of the office, which I love. I have decided to step down in my role as the U.S. Attorney for the District of New Jersey, but do not mistake compliance for surrender. This decision will not weaken the Justice Department. It will not weaken me. My fight will now stretch across the country as we wait for further review of the court's ruling. I will continue to serve the Department of Justice as the senior advisor to the Attorney General for United States attorneys. Make no mistake, you could take this girl out of New Jersey, but you cannot take New Jersey out of the girl. So that from Alina Habba announcing her resignation. And that's something to watch out for perhaps in your midterms, in your jurisdiction, in your state, in your locality. Many times referendums are on these non-law abiding judges who take politics and they usurp the authority of the executive branch of the United States. It's become very clear now in this lawfare that has been consistently launched against President Trump and his family for the last decade. Eric Trump himself, the vice president of the Trump Organization, has had countless lawsuits and subpoenas against him, and they have, for lack of a better term, been harassed nonstop as a family, all in order to help serve this great country. And their businesses to their own personal liability and interest questioned. I mean, it's been ridiculous what's been thrown at the Trump family, and much of that now they are being proved correct as we see some of these just simply thrown out, like we saw in Fulton County, Georgia, with Fani Willis and those ridiculous attacks on the president and claims that he was trying to steal an election, et cetera, et cetera. We know the narrative of Russia, the hoax, and the consistent lawfare against this president. So that happening today. Thank you to mypillow.com/RSBN. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Save up to 80% this holiday season. As you continue your shopping and stocking stuffers, consider mypillow.com/RSBN. Support Mike Lindell and Right Side Broadcasting Network. Over 2,000 different items at the site. And the master marketer himself with everything made in America in the great state of Minnesota. President Trump mentioning that about Mike at the 100 Days celebration outside of Detroit, Michigan in late April. Use promo code RSBN, mypillow.com/RSBN, code RSBN. Easy to remember for 80% on savings. And Mike Lindell has a big announcement come Thursday. Be sure to watch for more. If you like what you see, your go-to live desk, your go-to rally network. Tomorrow, a kickoff of really a domestic tour and policies that will make America great again. President Trump in Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth, home of Matthew Alvarez. He'll be there in the field covering all of the action for us tomorrow. Support us right here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, rsbnetwork.com/donate, or text RSBN to 801-801. You can also send a check or money order to 1550 Opelika Road, Suite 6, Box 344, the loveliest village on the plains, Auburn, Alabama 36830. That is 1550 Opelika Road, Suite 6, Box 344, Auburn, Alabama 36830. And great sights and sounds from last year's campaign trail, which will reconvene with the midterms coming up just weeks away in some cases. For those of you with early primaries, you know, Illinois has one on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. That is coming up right around the corner. And with that, God willing, some warmer temperatures, as it's cold down here in the loveliest village on the plains. And I know in your neck of the woods, probably not much better. Feedback at rsbn.tv if you want to talk about it. And I especially would like your feedback on a couple of things about Christmas traditions, your favorite Christmas movies as we celebrate the season, but also what do you think about the college football playoffs that all being decided this weekend with conference championships and that huge upset, Indiana over Ohio State, the Hoosiers taking down the Buckeyes. Wow, what a game was in the crossroads of America, with some more victories, with a new map that potentially will be signed by Governor Mike Braun. Has to go through the Indiana Senate, but
come on,
we
Trump.
see a lot of those changes.
I have a
from
call to
the
be
Tar
on
Heel
it
State in North Carolina,
in an
again,
hour.
Indiana, the crossroads
Come
of
on,
America,
Trump.
down to the Lone Star State, where
Where
the
you at,
Supreme
bro?
Court of the United States ruling last week that the
Where
maps
you at,
stand,
bro?
and therefore Jasmine Crockett is without her traditional district. She's going to likely run for the United States Senate. That should be an entertaining race
on. Let's
next
manifest
year.
him
So
right
we'll watch
here. Let's
all
manifest
of
him.
that
Come
as President Trump willing to walk away from Russia and Ukraine, expressing frustration with
are
Ukrainian
officially
President
17
Vladimir
minutes late.
Zelensky. But President Putin hasn't been much better either in these continued
Come on,
ongoing
Trump.
peace talks. Secretary of State Marco Rubio hosting the UK foreign minister today at the Department of State, and this will be on the topic of mind. Tomorrow is a
Aussie,
Miami
no, I have not seen
mayoral
that yet.
election.
I need to cover that.
We might have the opportunity to speak to the Trump-endorsed candidate before
Was that recent?
but in these
That-
last
I
few
did
hours,
see.
very,
I
very
did see. I
busy,
did not see
busy,
it, though.
speaking to the campaign, though, and we'll keep you abreast of that if we get a few moments for what will be a test of
Okay,
the
market
2026
is
midterms that are
dropping
really
slightly.
underway now. Also, Representative Jim Clyburn of South Carolina stating that he backs Michelle Obama in the opinion that the United States is not ready for a female president. Another rather bizarre comment from the former First Lady. And also President Trump stating a lack of loyalty from Henry Cuellar, who will continue to run as a Democrat after the pardon last week. Someone whose family was targeted by far-left Democrats because he's always been a pro-security or border security Democrat, his district reaching from San Antonio all the way down to that border. And we saw some of those differences on those congressional districts that touched the Texas-Mexican border really swing to the right more than ever before as a result of border security. So perhaps no one else wants it more than Mexican Americans, especially along that border, wanting border security happening for the United States. And in turn, the Trump administration saving 62,000 children, migrant children rescued by the Trump administration since taking office. Borders are Tom Homan stating President Trump committed on day one that we would do everything we can to find every one of these children. Many are in sex trafficking. Many are in forced labor camps. Many are being abused. President Trump is proving why he's the best president in my lifetime. And if you're on the ground, our thoughts and prayers with all of you, whether it be ICE to DHS, FBI, state and local forces who are seeing what could be the worst in humanity sometimes, but your very presence in these cities, on the border, you are truly making America safe again, as we had some sad reports, another stabbing by an illegal migrant in Charlotte, North Carolina. President Trump taking it with Cut 4, Mr. Producer, to social media and True Social specifically with this stabbing. What is going on in Charlotte? Democrats are destroying it like everything else, piece by piece. Signed right there by President Trump specifically. On a lighter note, in case you missed it with cut number 8, Mr. Producer, President Trump drew the Group D for the FIFA World Cup, which will also be next year in 2026, and we can replay that for you right now.
President Trump, up to you. Don't forget to mingle, to mix.
I think I know what this is going to be now.
Everything.
But let's see.
Are you sure? Are you sure this is the ball? You can still change it if you want.
Does he know something that I don't know? Let's give it a shot, John.
Let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. I agree. Okay.
This is shocking.
United States of America. Excellent. Group D1. Can I ask all the three of you to lift like this on your chest, in front of your chest like this? Yeah, the name of the country. We'll give a nice photo. Excellent.
And moments before that happening, President Sheinbaum of Mexico and Prime Minister Carney of Canada drawing their respective nations at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. So in jest, President Trump, of course, saying, I think I know how this is going, because the chances of all three pulling their home countries would be unlikely unless it was a rigged system. But it will be very fun to watch as the world comes together in North America with sites spanning from Los Angeles, California, the site of the 2028 Summer Olympics.
Aussie, I
to
apologize.
Atlanta,
Streamlabs
Georgia, all the way
again.
up
I've
to
got to
the Garden State
I've
of New
got to
Jersey
fix
and many other
Streamlabs.
locations throughout North
We're gonna
America.
have to put Streamlabs in
to
timeout.
see some of the world's best soccer, otherwise known as football, to enjoy a competition that is
What is going on,
focused
Venomets?
on
Welcome back to the channel,
world
my man.
peace. With that inaugural, a couple of firsts once again for this president who is the king of firsts. Perhaps the left will have an issue with that terminology, but President Trump receiving the inaugural Peace Prize from FIFA for the work he's done to solve 8 wars in 10 months, along with his administration, and the first to host the Kennedy Center Awards. Seeing those replays as
Venom
he
S
walked the red
says people
carpet
have
with First
no
Lady
idea
Melania
what's coming
Trump. Thank you to all
in
family
2026.
Pharmacy.com/RSBN as we celebrate the most cherished of times this Christmas season. With Hanukkah next week, with Christmas in 2 weeks, we reflect on the Advent season that has us still and waiting as we prepare for the celebration. And the reason for the season, as President Trump said, Jesus Christ, last week at the Christmas tree lighting ceremony, and with First Lady Melania Trump visiting Toys for Tots today, and the National Children's Hospital just last week to read some stories with Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus. Get 10% off of your
I just had to put my own
Tamiflu
bot in
antibiotics,
timeout.
ivermectin, much, much more. The season of charity and giving and season's greetings bring sometimes that cold and flu. Use code RSBN10. Scan that QR code now for all of these life-saving medications. What's great about this online pharmacy, they believe in the right to try. They believe in family values. And with no insurance, it's no problem. No red tape, no bureaucracy. You just need that pharmaceutical note. A U.S. doctor will review all of your needs and send that order directly to your door. So no hassle. Many of the pharmacies down the street from you are likely not to prescribe things like ivermectin, hydrochloroquine, NAD+, methylene blue, and emergency medical kits that can make a difference in a season where
Thank you guys for tuning in. President Trump will be live at the round table any moment.
Literally out the door.
He's actually
almost
already a
every
little
day.
bit fashionably
So I
late
avoid
as
that,
usual.
with a number of life-saving medications. Also, again, going to the gym, going to church, getting to bed
that
on
is
time,
okay.
eating right.
We're going to be tuning
cold
in live
showers.
here and covering it
This
all
helps
piece by
with all
piece.
of that as well. 10% off now. Code RSBN10. Scan the QR code there and get these off-label generics that are affordable right to your door at allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN.
With the
Gold,
ivermectin
monetary gold.
and
They are the best in
methylene
the
blue
business. Wealth
ad
preservation
already. Come on,
securities.
bro.
Grab that complimentary presidential gold guide today. 888-617-7994.
I apologize, guys.
Ask how you can eliminate your annual IRA fees permanently for life.
Aren't you glad that,
RSBNforthegold.com.
at least I don't get
With all
up
the
here
BRICS
and do that.
nations divesting friends
I'm not
and
up
foe
here
from the American dollar, and with the purchasing power
promoting
of the
methylene
dollar
blue.
falling 40% in 2 decades, with banks failing to this year alone here domestically, good to find a plan or craft one with the good people at Monetary
I would
Gold
suggest
for
it.
tangible gold and silver in your hands that have stood the test of time. And with central banks around the world stocking up in gold and silver, it's good for your household as well. RSBNforthegold.com, an essential to protect your savings, your retirement, everything you've worked hard for.
Okay, guys, President Trump is live,
888-617-7994.
and
Call
it will
today.
begin
Do not
shortly.
delay. Thank you for
And we
sponsoring.
don't have to listen to him anymore because we will be live here viewing directly from the White House, so we will not have to listen to the ivermectin and methylene blue ads anymore. All right, guys, this is live here. Just want to refresh, turn on the volume there so that we know we are live and good to go.
Us on the right side of history. We also have the First Lady. In case you missed it from earlier today, Toys for Tots, the U.S. Marines all coming together with Santa Claus. And Buddy the Elf, I think he stopped by. He was in the background helping out Santa Claus. And
traditions of the holiday season. Toys for Tots, led by United States Marine Corps Reserve. For more than 75 years, Marines and volunteers across America collect and deliver new toys to children who need a little extra joy during Christmas, all wrapped with love and great care. To everyone here at Quantico and all those who support the Toys for Tots Foundation, thank you. This includes the Toy Association's generous support. I'm grateful for your partnership and dedication to promoting fun and creativity. You help bring the delight of Christmas morning to millions of children, and you remind us all that American tradition, kindness, and love remain among our most powerful. To the families of military personnel, you are the heart of today's celebration. Your strength in the face of the adversity is inspirational. Some of the children here today have a parent stationed away from home right now. I know this can be difficult. On behalf of our nation, thank you. And thank you to the parents and guardians who are here today. Your support and resilience empower our Marines to serve with honor and distinction. Whether near or far, you eliminate every occasion, enriching everyone's life. This Christmas season, you, your friends, and your families should wish for the ultimate gift, love. After all, love travels further than Santa's sleigh and American ospreys. Thank you, and Merry Christmas, and happy and healthy New Year. Thank you.
The First Lady earlier today meeting with the Marines and Toys for Tots. She really is an extraordinary representative, and the Christmas season truly shines through the office of the First Lady, and what an improvement we had from last year, no question about that. But all of the inside, if you have the chance to go to the White House, which I highly, highly recommend anytime, but especially during the Christmas seasons, you will see there, home is where the heart is, the theme for the White House celebration in this 2025, and reflecting on the Pearl Harbor anniversary from yesterday and going through that history 84 years later. It was quite a somber time there at the White House with President Roosevelt, but even to go into his fireside chats, even as a liberal president, how he invoked the blessings of God and our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ over this country, the foundational principles of America, really something to reflect upon as a historian that you might be at home as well. So home is where the heart is, and it surely is there at the White House this Christmas season. Through the First Lady's office, we're going to go right to the President now, participating in a roundtable.
Thank you for being here as we take a very vital action to protect and defend American farmers and reduce prices for the American consumers. And we've done that in so many different fields, and this is a little bit of a different field, but we're bringing prices way down. We inherited a total mess from the Biden administration, the highest inflation in the country's history, and very, very high prices, and prices are coming down.
Okay, so for some reason, the actual official page
far down on energy
is a bit delayed.
In fact, we
I
hit
believe.
a very important number, sacred number.
There we
We
go.
had 3 states in the last 2 days, consumers reported by our so many different energy group, a group of very strong energy people, who said we hit $1.99 a gallon in 3 different states, and that's an amazing accomplishment because the gasoline prices are coming down. When gasoline comes down, everything, it's such a big category that when gasoline comes down, sort of everything sort of follows. But we inherited a mess. Affordability, but you can call it affordability or anything you want, but the Democrats caused the affordability problem, and we're the ones that are fixing it. So it's a very simple statement. They caused it, we're fixing it, and they have a tendency to just say this election's based on affordability, and nobody questions them, John. You know, nobody says, "Oh, well, what do you mean by that?" But they just say the word. They never say anything else because they caused the problem, but we're fixing the problem. And we're pleased to be joined today by many of the wonderful members of the farming community, as well as the Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins. Brooke, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Thank you very much, Scott. Senator John Bozeman. Thank you, John. Good job. John Hoeven. Thank you, John. And Deb Fisher. Thank you very much. As well as Representative Austin Scott, who's been with us right from the beginning. Thank you, Austin. Good job. I'm delighted to announce this afternoon that the United States will be taking a small portion of the hundreds of billions of dollars we receive in tariffs. We are making a lot of money from countries that took advantage of us for years. They took advantage of us like nobody's ever seen. Our deficits are way down because of tariffs. I guess because of the election. Because without the election, you wouldn't have tariffs. You'd be sitting here losing your shirt. But we're taking in billions. We're really taking in trillions of dollars, if you think about it, Scott. Because the real number is, you know, when you think of all the money being poured into the country for new auto plants and all of the other things, AI. So what we're doing is we're taking a relatively small portion of that, and we're going to be giving and providing it to the farmers in economic assistance. And we love our farmers, and as you know, the farmers like me, because you know, based on voting trends, you could call it voting trends or anything else, but they're great people. They're the backbone of our country. So we're going to use that money to provide $12 billion in economic assistance to American farmers. $12 billion is a lot of money, Meryl. What do you think? Peanuts for you, though, right? Peanuts. She's a farmer of rice. This relief will provide much-needed certainty to farmers as they get this year's harvest to market and look ahead to next year's crops, and it'll help them continue their efforts to lower food prices for American families. And again, we inherited something that we inherited the worst inflation in the history of our country, and we're taking care of it. Farmers are an indispensable national asset, part of the backbone of America. I've always felt it so strongly. They're so important. Unfortunately, under sleepy Joe Biden, he's a sleepy guy, our farmers were crushed by the worst inflation in modern history and crippling restrictions on energy, water, and countless other necessities for farmers. And what they did to the farmer in terms of putting the brakes on was just absolutely unacceptable. In my first term, we had an agricultural trade surplus by a lot. We had a big surplus, meaning we were exporting American agricultural products all over the world, making a net profit. and in many cases a very substantial profit. He came in and ruined it. Biden turned that surplus into a gaping agricultural deficit that continues to this day, but we're knocking it down. It's starting to go very good. In fact, China, as you know, is buying a tremendous amount of soybeans, and the number, I spoke with President Xi recently, very recently, and I think he's going to do even more than he promised to do. So I think the relationship is a very good one. I think he's going to do more than he promised to do, and what he promised to do is a lot. So we're very happy with that. In the last year, Biden bankruptcies rose by 55%, having to do with farms. So farm bankruptcies under Joe Biden went up 55%. That's not good. But now we're once again in a position where a president is able to put farmers first. But unfortunately, I'm the only president that does that. On day one, I terminated the Green New Scam. Energy prices are down. Gasoline prices are down. We've slashed record numbers on huge trade deals, already securing $60 billion in agricultural purchase commitments. And, you know, Biden made none. He didn't make any trade deals having to do with the farmers or any of it. It's crazy. China committed. He was the worst president in the history of our country, by the way, in case anybody has any questions. China committed to over $40 billion of soybean purchases, and that's a commitment. And I asked President Xi if he could even up it. And I think he'll do that. I mean, not a commitment. 40 billion is a commitment, but the soybean farmers are quite happy. Since my successful meeting in South Korea with President Xi, purchases have been made and soybeans are being exported out of the United States to China as we speak. And I say that our soybeans, I told this to President Xi, our soybeans are more nutritious than competitors. Somebody said, is that a Trump statement or is that real? In fact, you know who asked me that question? President Xi asked me that question. He said, really, I had never heard of it. And he was a food purchaser for a long time. But that's what I hear. And Japan agreed to $8 billion in purchases of corn, soybeans, ethanol, fertilizer, aviation, biofuel, and rice. You know, Japan never bought rice from anybody else. It's like a very important thing to them. And they agreed to buy rice, okay?
Absolutely.
So I also proudly signed into law the largest tax cuts in history, and the one big, beautiful bill, the monumental tax relief bill that is benefiting very, very strongly, benefiting the American farmer. And I think also for farmers, we have, as you know, and we got this, the estate tax, or the death tax, as they call it, on farmers, on small businesses. You don't have to pay it anymore. A lot of farms, you love your children, and your children are great, and they want to be farmers, and you leave the farm with your children, and a lot of farms are, you know, sort of cash poor, land rich, cash poor, and the kids would go to the local bank or to any bank, and they'd borrow money to pay the estate tax, and they'd end up losing the farm. They go bankrupt, and a lot of debt too, you know, literally. Because they love their farm and they love their business and they love that way of life, they end up committing suicide. A lot of suicides. We have no more estate tax. How about that? Do you have children?
I do.
Well, let them know. Now, if you love your children, then it's good. If you don't love your children, you don't have to leave them anything. It doesn't matter what I just said.
They're still young. I still love them.
I have a feeling you love them.
I still love them.
I have a feeling you love your children. But the estate tax is a very big thing. So you don't have estate tax. You die, you leave your farm or whatever, or small business to your children. You don't have to pay estate tax. It seems to affect the farmer more than anybody else, because you can have a farm that's very valuable, and therefore you have to pay a big tax, but it's not a big value in terms of cash. Maximizing domestic farm production is a big part of how we will make America affordable again and bring down grocery prices for American families. And again, these are prices that we inherited. When I left, we were doing incredible. In 4 years, what they've done to this country in so many, and not even mentioning the border and the criminals allowed into our country and all of the other. So I just want to say it's a tremendous honor being with you. I'd now like to ask Secretary Rollins to provide some of the details, followed by Secretary Bessent, Director of the National Economic Council, Kevin Hassett, Senator Bozeman, Representative Scott, and
I just heard Kevin
then
has
we
it.
go to a couple of the farmers' representatives, but we'll all get involved a little bit. You can speak. Anybody is shy to speak in front of the press, and I don't blame you if that's the case, but farmers, Court Hollop and Merrill Kennedy will say a few words also, and then we'll have a little discussion, okay? Madam Secretary.
Thank you to the greatest boss in the world for a long time now. It's just an honor to be here. I'm going to keep my comments very short because I really want to make sure that you and the world gets to hear from our farmers. So a couple of quick points. Number one, this country and our farm economy is facing a crisis that we inherited that most of these farmers have not seen in their lifetime. Profitability is down. It's just one crisis after another. When we came into office, or when you did and you were sworn in on January the 20th, as you mentioned, not one new trade deal had been struck in 4 years. The cost of inputs for our farmers, fertilizer up 36%, manual labor up 47%, interest rates up 73%. When you combine the cost of inputs for our farmers married to no new trade deals, and then you're facing an administration whose priorities were DEI, climate change, putting the farmer aside. I mean, it was an absolute war on agriculture and on our rural communities. That all changed on January 20th. So as, sir, we are working, and you have been just so resolute. I mean, these are our people. Rural America is the fabric of our country. This is the way of life that preserves the American dream for the next 250 years as we celebrate the first 250 years. So we began to go to work immediately. What these elected officials sitting across from us did with the One Big Beautiful Bill, with a lot of help and direction from you, was the largest investment in rural America in any of our lifetimes. We will begin to see that effectuated next year in 2026. As we have fought to bring input costs down, you have talked about, and even this weekend did an executive order, signed one, on looking into the reason that so much of these costs have been driven up over and over. Equipment, again, fertilizer, seed. Instead, we are moving our products out across the world. Having said that, and we have been listening to the farmers for the last 10 months, 11 months, sir, that the bridge that is needed to get from the last administration and what basically happened under the last president and the last U.S. Department of Agriculture to this new golden age for farmers, where instead of farming for government checks, they can farm to feed their family and sell their products and pass it on to the next generation, that this bridge is absolutely necessary based on where we are right now. So as the president said, we are very pleased to announce that today we are going to be effectuating an $11 billion bridge payment to our farmers. The money will move by February 28th of 2026, but by the end of this month, so just in the next couple of weeks, every farmer that is able to apply for it will know exactly what that number looks like. So as you are going to your lender, as you are working to ensure and understanding what you can plant for next year, you will have that number in hand. And we will continue to talk to our farmers, continue to understand exactly what this looks like and what is necessary. The final thing I'll say is,
12 billion.
Well, we're holding $1 billion back. So today we are announcing $11 billion. We are holding $1 billion back just to ensure that we are covering. So today's announcement covers all of our row crops, but some specialty crops and others that we are still working with to best understand where they are in the farm economy and ensure that we're making every forward-moving position that we need to. And then finally, as we move to this new golden age for agriculture and for rural America, as we continue to fight for these farmers and ranchers, their way of life, and those that are represented here represent hundreds of thousands of farmers across this country, just know that this president, I have never been around anyone who every time we talk, he asks, how are my farmers? Every single time. So we will never stop fighting. We will make sure that we're doing everything we can to ensure the next 250 years is just as bright, if not brighter, than the last. So thank you, sir.
Brooke. Thank you. And this money would not be possible without tariffs. The tariffs are taking in, hundreds of billions of dollars, and we're giving some up to the farmers because they were mistreated by other countries for, I don't know, maybe right reasons, maybe wrong reasons. They weren't. They were trying to show us something, and it's really worked out really well. But because of the tariffs, this is possible. The other thing I'd like to add before going to Scott, and I think it's very important, we're going to also give the tractor companies, John Deere and all of the companies that make the equipment, we're going to take off a lot of the environmental restrictions that they have on machinery. It's ridiculous. I know because I buy a lot of that machinery for different things. We have a lot of big clubs with, hundreds, thousands of acres. And I buy a lot of stuff, and you buy it, it's got so much equipment on it for the environmental, it doesn't do anything, except it makes the equipment much more expensive and much more complicated to work, and it's not as good as the old days. And we're going to take a lot of that nonsense off of the equipment, which is going to reduce, and we're going to do it, and we're going to say you're going to reduce the prices. We're not going to do it and they're not going to reduce. They're going to have to reduce their prices because farming equipment has gotten too expensive. And a lot of the reason is because they put these environmental excesses on the equipment, which don't do a damn thing except make it complicated, make it impractical. And you really have to be, in many cases, you need about 185 IQ to turn on a lawnmower. Now, so we're going to take that off, that crap off that they put on Biden mostly. And we're going to take that off. So that's going to make that'll bring down the equipment prices a lot.
That's right.
And we're going to do that immediately. You're going to work with Lee Zeldin, who's not here. He's doing a fantastic job. And Lee is going to work that out. And that would be most of it. It's crazy. The machines, they're always under repair because they're so complicated that you can't fix them. The old days you used to fix it yourself. Now you can't do that. You have to be a PhD from, let's say, MIT. Okay, so we're going to get that done. Scott, please go ahead.
Good. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you to the farmers to join us today. And I will tell all of you here that when either in person or when we are on a call with President Xi, the first thing the president asking for is more soybean purchases.
That's right.
We don't talk about geopolitics. We don't talk about trade. It's about soybean purchases.
We don't even say hello. We immediately start. Soybean. We start with the soybean, please.
Could you do a little? It's always could you do a little more? So, and I think President Xi has heard President Trump. This group represents an American way of life that has fed our nation in its spirit for hundreds of years. You are the caretakers of the most productive agricultural country on earth. You drive hundreds of billions of dollars in exports, support millions of jobs, and keep America's economy running strong. And this administration is committed to keeping it that way. By putting farmers first, President Trump is ushering in a new golden age for agriculture. The President's $11 billion relief package for America's farmers comes at a critical time. These direct payments will give producers the breathing room they need to market this year's harvest and plan for next season. This serves as a liquidity bridge during a period of adjustment, supporting the strongest agricultural sector in the world. Add this to President's success in reining in Biden-era inflation, thanks to the administration's pro-growth policies, input costs like fuel and fertilizer are easing, and credit conditions are improving, interest rates are coming down, helping farmers prepare for the next harvest. President Trump scored a massive victory for America's farmers when he secured an arrangement with President Xi in Busan to reopen China's markets to U.S. agricultural exports, especially soybeans, sorghum, and other commodities. Under this framework, China committed to purchase at least 12 million metric tons of U.S. soybeans this growing season, followed by a minimum of 25 million.
All right, guys,
tons
I have to step away for a moment.
For the next 3 years.
This will be continuing for a little bit longer. I'm going to leave this running, but I will be back, okay? I do need to step away for a moment. Please make sure you guys like the stream to show support for this live coverage here on the channel. And we will take a look at the Bitcoin and Ethereum price action here shortly. So thank you guys again for showing up.
It locked in full expensing for farm equipment and 100% expensing for farm structures built during the president's term. I believe Representative Scott and a group in the House, we were originally just going to do factories, and they called us and said, you need to do farm structures too, and the president said, we're all in. and it extended and enhanced much-needed relief from the punishing death tax, giving family farms greater certainty as they plan for the next generation. Mr. President, thank you for putting America first by putting your farmers first. Through pro-growth, pro-farm agenda, you are ushering in a new golden age of American agriculture, and Treasury is proud to help in this.
Thank you, Scott. You know what we'll do? We're going to go a little faster because the last meeting we had was 3 hours. We're the most transparent group, so if we can go faster, it'll be great. And then we'll take some questions from the fake news. Is that okay? Kevin, go real fast, Kevin.
Yeah, I could go really fast, sir. Sir, the farm economy, you always ask me to just get a few numbers to put it in perspective. And as I've looked through the incredible performance of these people that work so hard and are such important people for keeping communities alive, the thing that struck me the most, because you and I were here in the White House during COVID, is that during those terrible COVID times, farm production didn't go down. Like these farmers, they went to work every day and they produced so much. But then Joe Biden came in, so we had COVID, and farm production didn't go down. And then Joe Biden came in and he really wrecked the farm economy. And so during Biden's term, 150,000 farms closed, sir. 150,000 farms closed after we went through COVID and we didn't have a problem. Now, why did we do it? Why were we able to do that? I'm going fast. The first is that, do you know that expenses for farms fell 5% while we were here because of all the things that we did, expensing and everything else? But under Joe Biden, they went up 13% because of all the regulations.
Okay, guys, this has been. I will do another update later on for the market.
You had high growth and low inflation.
Definitely not what was expected. Obviously, we knew what the
while you were there in the White House. But under Joe Biden,
major announcement was going to be about. Press conference. The press questions were more
this $11 billion, maybe
important.
$12 billion to build a bridge loan.
Aid to the farmers is extremely important, and that is very, very good for the U.S. So, good deal, good deal, good deal. But I will see you guys soon in the next stream.
That's good. Appreciate it. Senator?